Alright, let's see if this thing is actually working. Sorry, gotta get a few quality of life adjustments out of the way because, yeah, technical difficulties and all that. See what we have. Is it working on the, yeah. Let's try this. See if it keeps in. And it did. Hot dog. Alrighty. Well, I guess since we're here, we'll actually start off with a little bit of Elon Musk stuff right out the gate. Just to warm things up and kind of a light tone for me. Let's see if I can get this to switch over. Well, I think I should have watched me, so I'll figure this out. Alright. As you can tell, this is on louder with Crowder. PETA lashes out at Elon Musk for not for buying Twitter, but for enjoying chocolate milk. Brodigan wrote this. Alright. There's a lot of overreaction to Elon Musk tweets. A lot. Musk tweets. The left side of Twitter goes bananas. Most of it has to do with Musk buying Twitter and there being a single social media platform on which leftists can control information. PETA went a different route. They are angrier that Musk drinks chocolate milk. Yes, milk with chocolate syrup in it, possibly chocolate powder. I'm not sure how Musk makes it. They get upset over a tweet that says chocolate milk is insanely good. Just had some. Oh, there's PETA. PETA's response. Drinking cow's milk is like driving a gas guzzler. The dairy industry is one of the worst contributors to a climate catastrophe. What happened to caring about the environment? Now, chocolate oat milk we can get behind. No. I mean, really? As of writing, Mr. Musk has yet to issue a response or a witty retort. If it were me, I'd tweet a photo of myself with a chocolate milk mustache, but that would be just PETA making America laugh at them since 1980. Yeah. Laugh at them except for when they're angry, because PETA likes to, as reported in multiple papers over the years, likes to kidnap people's pets and put them down, saying they're freeing them from the bondage of servitude that comes with being a pet. Sick people. I mean, especially that one 2 years ago that I'll see if I can pull it up in a bit. That decided to they didn't just kidnap somebody's dog, if that's how you want to put it. They took and put it down. They took a CNI dog and put it down. Now, just a regular pet. We're talking somebody that is. We're talking about a dog that is very specific to help people. But, that's the type of psychos you got. They also make some of the worst games ever made. That they try to aim at kids. It also has where you get rewarded for doing things with a video that takes you over to the most gory and disgusting things they can find. But, you know, I expect it's PETA. I'm from the different chapter of PETA. People for the eating of tasty animals. It's a southern chapter. I'm quite proud here. Well, I guess we'll get into something a little bit heavier and a bit more disturbing in more ways than I care to count. Alright. This is over on Bounding into Comics. The article is written by J.D. Augustine. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Scream Rant article claims that Black Adam resorting to cannibalism makes him a better hero than Batman or Superman. So because he likes to have human Happy Meals, because he resorted to having a human Happy Meal, he's somehow better. Dwayne Johnson promised that the power dynamic of the DCEU will change when his portrayal of Black Adam finally hit theaters after a long wait. The production took over a decade to manifest, and the film itself was pushed back several times in the last 2 years. Many take Johnson's promise to mean Black Adam will be recognized for one of DC's mightiest heroes after decades of being seen as a villain, and later on as an anti-hero. Others believe the ruler of... I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. If anybody can pronounce that, congratulations. Has already maximized their potential and proven his worth as a hero. And they might be right, but only if they choose their cases and point carefully when building their argument. You see support for the idea Black Adam is a hero doesn't boil down to saving cats from trees or foiling a bank robbery, and it doesn't end at whatever it takes to free his people either. Now, one thing with Black Adam, I'm trying to remember the issue that came out on him. He basically was holding up, I think it was a building that was collapsing down, and people got out and everything. But he had been doing things for so long, and he'd been in the form that you see him in all the time for so long that finally he, after everybody got out and everybody was saved and other heroes had left, he sent them off. He basically just said Shazam at the time and returned back to his mortal form. Unfortunately, when he did it, he had been in his Black Adam form for so long that he aged thousands of years just in an instant and turned to dust. He decided he'd lived long enough and was tired. And, well, I mean, it was really cool when they did it. I'll have to try to find that article. Maybe I can make a video on that, because that was actually a really good ending for him. Alright, in an article from Screen Rant, they suggested what makes him such a great hero in the making is his tenacity in doing anything to achieve his goals. That includes killing and eating his followers to survive. And Screen Rant argues a resolve that stoops to cannibalism can make Black Adam the ultimate DC hero, outweighing the likes of even Batman or Superman. Okay. That's an interesting leap. The moment came in the miniseries Black Adam, The Dark Age by Peter Tomasi, I think, Doug McKee, I don't know, I'm sorry, Christian Elmy, in which, deprived of his powers, he was on the run from super types and world governments that want to put him on trial for various crimes. Yeah. At the same time, he is on a quest to resurrect Isis, his wife. That takes him and a companion across a freezingly intemperate mountain range. This is the point where he kills and consumes his willing follower. Cold human Happy Meal. Kind of creepy lines as does this meat and blood that courses through me keep me strong and vital. Were it not for Tamir's demand and selfless sacrifice, I would be dead within days, and the dream forever unrealized. Oh, that is. Didn't even cook it. Oh, that. You know, that doesn't make things better. Ew. He also somehow proves he has humility through the act in the author's mind. Before killing his partner on the journey, Black Adam shows he is grateful when he makes it a point to graciously thank the follower for his sacrifice every day. The writer never satisfactorily explains how gratitude ameliorates cannibalism. I hope I pronounced that word right. Or what makes it heroic in any way. Instead, he just moves on to talking about how Black Adam would be a better hero than Superman. He just has to be more inclusive and open-minded. You know, he's recently opened his mind to other ways of thinking so he can adopt an all-encompassing worldview. Then Black Adam would certainly surpass Superman in DC's ultimate hero, concludes the article. In other words, forget what you know, eat the Soylent Green, adopt everybody else's ideas, and you too can go from zero to hero. Heck, you'll be better than Batman or Superman, hands down. Johnson's turn as Black Adam hits theaters in October. In some ways, I'm kind of looking forward to it because I like Black Adam. And I think Johnson will do a good job in it, even though for the most part he's an arrogant ass. I think he will. In certain roles, he shines pretty well, and I think Black Adam's one that he'll be able to pull off. Presented with a threat after he wakes up from a long sleep and goes further, according to the star and his producer, Hiram Sia. No, there's no sun. He sinks to the level of Armie Hammer. I mean, yeah, I'd say go to, besides read this article, I'd say if you get a chance, look at the one, try to find the on screen rant. I'll have an article. I'm looking at a few things on there anyways in this stream, but yeah, I don't think Human Happy Meal makes for better hero. Could be wrong, but that's just me. You know, I understand what you got to do to survive, but don't make a heroic action for you to eat your followers. poor guy was bumped off like a red shirt in Star Trek. But at least they thanks him for his sacrifice every time. So, okay, now we're going to get into something a little bit heavier. This article is also on Bounding into Comics. It's written by John F. Trent. We'll go over a little bit of it. Rick Riordan admits he is a Rossicist and calls his own fans a Rossicist over wanting accurate source material casting. You know, I've never read any of the Percy Jackson stuff. Never even watched the movies either. But I will say this. Just so I don't get called a Rossicist, should I watch it? No. I think he's saying don't watch his stuff, don't read his material, because you don't want to be a Rossicist like him. I think that's what he's trying to advertise. I could be wrong here. Percy Jackson and Olympians novelist Rick Riordan made a bizarre argument that he's a Rossicist in order to justify calling his own fans Rossicist for being critical of the race swap casting of Leah Jeffries in the role of Annabeth Chase for the upcoming Disney Plus series. Alright, let's see. Annabeth Chase is a demigod, daughter of Greek goddess Athena and girlfriend of Percy Jackson. She is one of the main protagonists in Percy Jackson and the Olympians and the Heroes of Olympus. She appears in the staff of Serapis and meets Sadie King. Alright, so this is how it was. Which I don't, if the guy wants to change it, fine. But, I don't get this. From there, he reiterated the idea that the response to the casting has been overwhelmingly positive, which begs the question as to why he would even write a post outing himself as a Rossicist and calling his fans Rossicist. I'm sorry. I don't care how good it is. If the own author calls any fan of his Rossicist, well, then if the guy who created calls him Rossicist, and then why even take the chance that you'd even go through this stuff? I mean, seriously. Virtue signaling turd. Regardless, he wrote the response to the cast. We already said it. Positive and joyous as it should be. It brings so much energy and enthusiasm to this role. So much of Annabeth's strength. She will be a role model for a new generation of those who see in her the kind of hero they want to be. He continued by claiming that people are bullying and harassing Jeffries, albeit without providing proof. If you have a problem with this casting, however, take it up with me. You have no one else to blame. Whatever else you take from this post, we should be able to agree that bullying and harassing a child online is inexcusably wrong. Look, I don't agree with going after actress or anything like that. That's just wrong. She took a job. She was offered a job. She took a job. And quite frankly, I hope it works out well for her. But as far as the douche nozzle here that decided to write it, you know what? You're on your own, buddy. He's right. Bullying and harassing a child is wrong, but Riordan does not provide any proof that this is actually happening. Instead, nearly all the criticism I have seen have been directed at Riordan and Disney. Good. His wife Becky mentions something about TikTok, but again doesn't provide anything concrete, and it's unclear if it has anything to even do with harassment or bullying. She tweeted to keep, let's see, to keep you abreast of what has been happening about TikTok. This family and Disney is working on a new handle for Leah. I don't know. No offense on that one at all. I'm just, I think it's Leah. My cousin has a name. My cousin's name Leah and has a name spelled like that. So we will get this sorted. We have a whole new social media team dedicated to the trio and their families. The families can also call on Rick and I anytime. Nevertheless, Rodin continues his post explaining that the show needed to adhere to Disney's policies. He wrote, I was quite clear a year ago when we announced our first open casting that we would be following Disney's company policy on non-discrimination. We are committed to diverse, inclusive casting for every role. Please submit qualified performers without regard to disability, gender, race, and ethnicity, age, color, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or any other basis prohibited by law. We did that. The casting process was long, intense, massive, and exhausting. I don't care. I really don't. You make an accusation without receipts to go with it, and you flat out just say, "Oh well, I'm going to make an accusation, call fans racist, and be done with it." So you know what? So quite frankly, well, good luck to the young actress. I hope she does well. She makes plenty of money off of this, but I don't care. I'm not going to. It isn't worth the time to even look into it, to books or anything, because all you're going to do is get called a Rossicist by the writer. So if you even have questions, I mean, he, like you said, he wrote it. He wrote her in a specific way. So you know what? Who cares? Hope she makes tons of money and hope it flops because he doesn't deserve money. That's just me. I don't care. But you cross the line whenever you make an accusation about your supposed fans, but you show no receipts for it. Just that's it. All right, let's get to something a little bit different. Something that'll aggravate some, and people like me just won't care. Well, I mean, I'll care a little bit, but I watch Hulu, so I'm used to what this is. All right, let's see. Netflix tells employees ads may come by the end of 2022. This is on New York Times. Executives said they were aiming to introduce an ad-supported lower price subscription tier in the last 3 months of the year quicker than originally indicated. Oh, it could be that you're hemorrhaging money. Could it? No, this is by John Coughlin and Nicole Spearling, I hope. Netflix Netflix is facing significant business challenges after reporting a loss of 200,000 subscribers in the first 3 months of the year. And they're going to lay a blockbuster if they keep this up. Netflix could introduce its lower-priced ad-supported tier by the end of the year, a more accelerated timeline than originally indicated, the company told employees in a recent note. Well, yeah, because honestly, I'd put up with the ads because they just, every few months, they're raising the price of Netflix. They just do it without increasing the quality of content. I mean, I'm sorry, for every Cobra Kai or Witcher that you throw out there, you have 1,000 shows that come up that either just aren't interesting or of such low quality standards that you would that you give up after watching one episode. So sometimes two. I'll give them credit. Sometimes the first episode may hook you, but by the time you watch the second one, you get halfway through it and you're saying, I've just wasted about an hour and a half of my life, and you turn it off. Netflix could Netflix executives said they were aiming to introduce the ad tier in the final 3 months of the year. Said two people who shared details of the communication on the condition of anonymity to describe internal company discussions. The note also said Netflix planned to begin cracking down on password sharing among its subscriber base around the same time. The people said, well, here's the problem with that one. Because I've read through what they were talking about in their change of policy for password sharing. Now, the reason I have a problem with it is because it is so vague. Let's say, all right, take my household. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has Netflix on it, so that if they're sitting there bored waiting for something, like they're waiting an appointment or something, they can watch something on there if they so choose. We got 4 TVs with 4 Roku TVs that have Netflix on it. I don't have it on my console, but I'm sure others do. But they're talking about limiting how many devices you can have Netflix on. Okay, but they haven't given a number out. And I'm sorry, I got 4 Roku TVs, and I may want to watch something in one room. Somebody else wants to watch something in another. And in another room, they may be watching another thing. It's just no. Now you're going to start punishing people that are in the same household on the same devices they've been using that don't share their password outside the house. But you have worded it so vaguely, you're going to punish people that have multiple devices. Yeah. Of all the screw-ups that Netflix has been having lately, that is really going to kick them in the teeth. Last month, Netflix stunned the media industry and Madison Avenue when it revealed that it would begin offering lower-priced subscription featuring ads after years of publicly stating that commercials would never be seen on a streaming platform. But Netflix is facing significant business challenges in announcing first quarter earnings last month. Netflix said it lost 200,000 subscribers in the first 3 months of the year, the first time that has happened in a decade, and expect to lose 2 million more in the months to come. Since the subscriber announcement, Netflix's share prices has dropped sharply, wiping away roughly $70 billion in the company's market capitalization. Reed Hastings, Netflix co-chief executive, told investors that the company would examine the possibility of introducing advertising supported platform, and that it would try to figure it out over the next year or two. There's real strange. The new era, companies like Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Amazon ushered out the age of prestige TV and ushered in the age of anything goes. Netflix woes. Streaming star lost subscribers for the first time in a decade as competitors continue to expand. Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on the numbers on how much they've actually expanded. They've been kind of cooking the books on their subscribers for a while. Everything from Hulu to Disney Plus to which are basically the same company, to HBO Max to Paramount Plus. I mean, or Amazon Prime stays steady because most people pay for Prime just so they get the free shipping. The only reason I have it is because I order so much off of Amazon that the free shipping helps. Whereas Netflix's sudden problems may indicate that their streaming services are headed toward. No, they're not going towards an unstable future. And I'm going to give an argument that some people may agree with, some may not. But as nice as it is to binge watch something, doing it released weekly is a far more financially stable model. If you do an episode a week, it's far more stable. And you also get more word of mouth out there for people. If it's really good, you get more word of mouth for people to come and watch it. And there's always going to be those that want to binge the show, so they'll wait till the entire season's over, provided they can avoid the temptation to look up reviews from people or talk to other people that have been watching it. Because oftentimes, if it's a really good series, they'll say screw it and they'll binge what episodes are out and they'll get hooked and they'll wait for the next one. I mean, it's a much better system, but the binge model, although convenient, most talk about things burn out, no matter how good the quality is. Squid Games, I watched it in 2 days. Cobra Kai, this last season, I watched it in 1 day. Witcher, 2 days. After that, I had nothing. And a problem with it is a lot of these that you binge, although they're really good, most of them don't really have a rewatch value unless there's multiple seasons and you decide just before the new season comes out to binge the previous one all over again, just to refresh yourself. That's if you even feel like doing that. But, I mean, but another problem is, like I said earlier, the price of Netflix keeps going up. They keep raising it without adding to value. It's like right now, Netflix offers a variety of payment tiers for stream access. Its most popular plan costs $15.49 a month. The new ad-supported tier will cost less. Other streaming services have similar plans. HBO Max, for instance, offers a commercial-free service for $15 a month and charges $10 a month for the service with advertising. What they don't mention in this little thing, you also get the ability with HBO Max, if you pay the $15 a month, let's say there's a movie you want to, let's say you got a long drive somewhere. Okay, you got a decently long drive and you're riding somewhere with somebody, and you just want to watch something from there. You can actually download a movie or something onto your phone to watch as you're going down the road. You could already have had it downloaded and you're good to go. That's the extra for $15. You get the option to do that. Indeed, in the note to employees, Netflix executives invoke their competitors, saying HBO and Hulu have been able to maintain strong brands while offering an ad-supported service. Every major streaming company, excluding Apple, has announced an ad-supported service. The note said, for good reason, people want lower priced options. Yeah, because I'm sorry, these streaming services are a luxury, and things are getting tight. Food, shelter, gas, the essentials are going up in price, and so as money's going far less than distance than it used to, people are cutting out these luxury items. And it's just the way it is. Netflix has discussed its interest in building out an advertising infrastructure externally as well, including a company called The Trade Desk, which helps advertisers place ads on various internet-enabled platforms, said a person familiar with the discussion who spoke on condition of anonymity in order to describe them. The Trade Desk counts David Wells, the former chief financial officer of Netflix, as a board member and has been in touch with Netflix for years, this person said. But discussions ramped up recently after Netflix said publicly that it would create an advertising tier. Last month, Netflix also announced that it intended to begin charging higher prices to subscribers who shared their account with several people. Like I said, they kind of screwed the pooch on their announcement of it because they left it so vague. And good luck if you use a VPN, because they're going to charge you every time the VPN kicks in. So if you've got a sister, let's say, that's living in a different city, you want to share Netflix with her, that's great. Great for yours. Netflix chief operating officer said. That's on the company's earnings call. We're not trying to shut down that sharing, but we're going to ask you to pay a bit more to be able to share with her. Ms. Pierce said the company would go through a year or so of iterating on password sharing before it rolled out a plan. In the note to employees, Netflix executives said the advertising supported tier would be introduced in tandem with our broader plans to charge for sharing. I mean, quite frankly, Netflix is running out of quality. I mean, to be honest, yeah, occasionally I'll find something I want to watch on there, but generally speaking, there's nothing. Yeah, I think I got another person in the house that uses it more than I do, way more than anybody else in the house does, and they turn it on maybe once a week. At this point, well, I'm paying for it, I might as well make him do it instead. But I'll just have the account for years. So, all right, well, that's out of the way. Let's see. All right. I guess this counts as entertainment news because it does have some effect. We got Senator Hawley introduces bill to strip Walt Disney of special copyright protections. Kelly Waco? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Please forgive me on that one. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican out of Missouri, is introducing legislation that would strip Walt Disney Company of special copyright protections granted to the corporation by Congress, while also limiting the length of new copyrights. The Copyright Clause Restoration Act of 2022 would cap the length of copyrights given corporations by Congress to 56 years and retroactively implement this change on companies, including Walt Disney. Okay, now, of course, any site that you're going to see, they're basically going to say, well, this is just going after Disney and stuff like that. In some ways, I guess you could see it as, but there's actually what I've got to read of the proposal. This also affects patents. So basically, because it isn't just going to affect Disney, it's going to affect all sorts of companies. Everything from Warner Brothers, you name it. But it's also, if I read it correctly on how it's going to affect patents, there is the chance that it may affect the patent over auto injectors for like EpiPens and stuff, which is awesome. It needs to be. It's something I'd like to see happen. There should be a limit to how long this person could hold that, or company could hold that. But we'll go a little bit more into this. The age of Republican handouts to big business is over, thanks to special copyright protections from Congress. Woke corporations like Disney have earned billions while increasingly pandering to woke activists. It's time to take away Disney's special privileges and open up a new era of creativity and innovation, Hawley told Fox News Digital in an exclusive statement. Okay. No, I'm not going to say it wouldn't be funny if it went there, but it'll never make it through with what they won't let that happen. I just don't see it. This is useless grandstanding. And the way things are worded, particularly in this, versus how it's actually worded in the bill, sounds more like that. We're just going to be petty towards Disney, which I can honestly say, okay, Disney is not the. I mean, they're the ones that lobbied for this, basically to be in place to keep extending. I'm going to laugh. I mean, my big thing with Disney is like when after Disney got a hold of Marvel, and this was a couple years ago. This was after Stan Lee had died. Disney decided to go out and sue a family that put a Spider-Man headstone on their kid's grave. I mean, and on top of this, Disney likes to portray itself as moral arbiters. So they're the more morally superior amongst us, while at the same time they go through and praise the actions over in China. I mean, there's these particular camps we may have back in World War II encountered that the entire world was collectively horrified by, and we did everything we could to get rid of them. Well, China decides to bring them up for a particular community over there. They decide to have them, and Disney decides to film Mulan right outside of one of the camps and thank the guards of the camp for helping with the creation of the movie, of the live action movie. At one scene, you can actually see the camps because they did so pathetic in editing to wipe out completely, to erase the image of the camp. You can see one of the towers from the camp and some of the fencing. It's just, I mean, I don't know. You got right now, according to Hawley's office, Congress has used an old law known as the Mickey Mouse Protection Act in order to extend copyrights to corporations for up to 120 years. Instead of issuing copyright protections to create enough monopoly protection in order to foster innovation, companies are getting handouts from Congress for a much larger period than needed. The action by Hawley comes after Disney publicly opposed Florida's new parental rights legislation, which bars instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Those that oppose to the legislation, including Disney, have I'm not even going to give them the credit saying this. You know what it is? It's Don't Groom Children bill. Leave kids out of it. It's kindergarten through third grade. For heaven's sakes, these kids have barely learned how to piss in a pot without hosing the floor or the wall. They're barely at the point where they have enough control to not crap their pants. You call the law hurtful to the alphabet mafia's rights and inclusiveness? No. It doesn't even say that you can't. Like if somebody has two dads, both dads come in on a parent day. If a kid asks about it, hey, what's this? They say, well, it's a different type of couple. These are much like some have a mom and a dad, some have two moms, some have two dads. Family's a family. And if you would like more information, just talk to your parents. That would be the wise thing to do. But no. All this really says is you can't have it in the curriculum. In other words, you cannot go out to actively teach these things directly in the curriculum. If it gets brought up, people ask questions, they can ask questions. My idea of saying, hey, talk to your parents after giving a minor description, I think it's a nice middle ground. But quite frankly, whenever they can't even, I'm sorry, when's a kindergartner going to want this? What do they need to know all this right now? They're learning how to read and write, do math, other things. They don't need that. Kids don't care what another kid looks like. They're just talking to each other, playing with each other, doing all this other stuff. They don't even know what any of this stuff means because they're still kids at this point. And as far as I'm concerned, leave kids alone. For heaven's sakes. This is not something I particularly wanted to get into on this channel, and I don't care if it pisses people off. I really don't, because they're kids. Especially kindergarten through third grade. Like I said, they barely learned how to piss in a pot without hosing down the floor. And you're still trying to teach them you're still trying to get them in the habit of washing their hands after they're done. In kindergarten, you're lucky if they're not pissing in the fake plant that they have in the classroom. Kindergarten, they're still taking naps. For heaven's sakes, leave them alone. They said only from kindergarten through third grade. That means after that, all right, they're a little bit more developed. They're able to comprehend things a little better, and you can discuss these things with them. Instead, no, we must force it on them as soon as we can. However, the Florida law doesn't actually contain the word gay, but states that classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. But look at this. Remember what it says. Classroom instruction. Okay, that is curriculum. But no. They're too many out there. Oh, this is so horrible. They're attacking, and they just follow along lockstep with whatever cult ideology they want to run with, because I'm sorry, people are so attached to their own parties, they're cultists, whether it's one way or the other, this guy included. I'm sorry. Holly, he's diehard on his. I just want kids left out of it. Leave kids alone. Okay, it's just no. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill at the end of April dissolving Walt Disney's special self-governance governing status in the state, which the company held for over 50 years. At the signing ceremony, DeSantis said Disney lied about the content of the state's new parental rights law, and he viewed the company's vow to fight it as unacceptable. Nearly 24 Republican lawmakers wrote to Disney CEO Bob Chapek last month declaring their opposition to renewing the company's copyright on Mickey Mouse, which is set to expire in 2024. You know what's going to happen to Ricky Rat, Mickey Mouse, in 2024? You're going to see a whole lot of very colorful animations and cartoons drawn using that rodent. It's going to be a horror show, and it's funny. Lawmakers noted in their letter that the Constitution gives Congress the authority to determine the length of time to protect copyrights. Further, it explicitly states that copyrights may not be permitted. Yet Disney's long history of lobbying on this issue suggests that is its goal. And you know what? It's not really going to hurt them whenever they lose the copyright over Mickey Mouse. It really won't. This is just another shot across the bow before things actually start to hit. But reading the side effects of this, of the proposal that they are trying to pass, if you read the side effects of it, it affects other things in good ways for everybody else. Like I said, it seems to affect patent law with the way it's worded. Now, maybe reading through it'll explain a little better, but certain things need to have been so abused, like the copyright and patent system, that they need to be looked over again. I mean, quite frankly, look at Coca-Cola Red. It is a patented color. They hold the color. The thing with that is that you can't go out and officially make it. You cannot just go to a thing and say, you know what? I want my car painted. I want it painted Coca-Cola Red. You can't do that. Well, they have a patent over it, and they can sue you for it. Not saying that somebody can't come up with the formula to make it, but because I've seen people that know how to mix things that would make it, but they can't do it. You cannot sell it as Coca-Cola Red. So, I hope things get interesting on this. One way or the other, at least this will highlight the need to look, because I don't think this will pass. I really don't. I would hope it would, but I don't see it passing. All I'm saying is this will hopefully make some people look at the copyright system. I mean, that affects YouTubers. You got various things that copyright for music, you name it, images. It needs to be reviewed. I mean, I don't want to violate copyright. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it needs to be more clearly defined, because, quite frankly, I've spent hours upon hours reading terms of service, license agreements, you name it, anything void that I could possibly find. I'm sure I'll screw up somewhere along the way, but I do my best not to. But the copyright system is confusing as hell, and I hope they fix this, or at least shine some light on it, and force these companies to explain how. Because there's a lot of stuff Look at all the times that people get copyright strikes on YouTube that are where people are abusing the copyright system, claiming they have the copyright over something even though they don't. This needs to be fixed. But let's get on to something else. This one is kind of, I don't know if anybody particularly watching me, and I wouldn't be surprised if my voice is annoying them as much as it annoys me. My voice is terrible. Let's see. But yeah, so that does kind of affect entertainment to an extent. We'll get rid of that, and we'll kick in this. I don't know if anybody wants to see news on Ezra Miller because, quite frankly, he's a terrible Flash, and every bit of his actions show him for being a douchebag. So I think we can kind of avoid that to an extent. Sorry. We'll ditch that. Something a little bit more cheerful, I hope. Alright. On Game Rant, they're talking about Humble Store Spring Sale offers huge discounts on PC games. Let's see. So give kind of a list of what they got. Steam, the biggest digital server PC games where players don't always have to buy from the storefront directly. Humble Bundle lets players buy codes for Steam, GOG, and other platforms at flexible prices, with some or all the proceeds donated to charitable causes. Humble Bundle is currently offering discount, letting PC gamers pick up a range of titles for more than 90% off in some cases. The sale runs until May 24th and features games from publishers such as Capcom, CD Projekt Red, Square Enix, Paradox Interactive, and more. The Humble Spring Sale began today, May 10th, and includes games from a wide range of genres and styles. Discounts vary from a relatively modest 20% off to over 90% on a few select items. The most discounted product is the 3-game Whale Rock Bundle with a massive 97% off. That pack includes the indie titles We Are the Dwarves, Deployment, and Time Lock VR. Other notable deals include 70% to 80% off the entire Witcher series, with CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 on sale for 50% off. Okay. Those are not the only RPGs that Humble shoppers can pick up. Discount right now: Valheim, Dying Light 2, and Devolver Digital surreal action RPG Weird West are all 20% off. JRPG Tales of Arise is 40% off, with Humble offering 45 to 55% off versions of Yakuza Like a Dragon, Wasteland 3, Pathfinder, Kingmaker, Kingdoms of Amalur, and Undungeon are all 60 to 90% off. Action shooters, for instance, also get the shooters that they have on this Many games priced 75% to 90% off. Notable deals in these genres include 50% off Doom Eternal, Deep Rock Galactic, and Hitman 3. Meanwhile, Metro Exodus and Superhot are 60% off, with Humble offering 75% off Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, and Fear. Players can also grab games such as BioShock Collection, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Homefront, The Revolution, and Serious Sam 3 for 80 to 90% off. Strategy Sims, we got RimWorld, Stellaris, Crusader Kings 3, Expeditions Rome, and Battle Brothers between 20 and 50% off. Meanwhile, Civilization 6 and Company of Heroes 2 are 81% to 75% off. In addition, Planet Zoo and 2 Point Hospital are 75% off, with Ace Combat reduced by 84%. Sports fans grab NBA 2K22 at an 84% discount, with racing game Wreckfest being 60% off. So, you know, that's some pretty nice stuff now. Maybe wants to look through that. And I'm sure that they've missed some. Those are just some of the ones they're highlighting. I figure that makes us happy. Nice thing to go through. Oh. Okay. Well, here's something that may or may not interest people. And it's even more Elon Musk news that goes with gaming. Elon Musk reveals his Elden Ring build. Billionaire has never made his love for video games secret, publicly praising games like Blizzard's hero shooter Overwatch and the Halo Infinite campaign. Yeah, I want to co-op that whenever finally get co-op it. Now Musk has talked about his time playing From Software's action RPG Epic Elden Ring, as far as to reveal the build he uses in game over Twitter. Let's see if they have the tweet. Yeah. What class of Elden? That this person, what class of Elden Ring are you playing, sir? Appreciate your wisdom. Struggling with mage. Intelligence Dex build, so mostly mage with some weapon skills, shield in left hand, staff in the right, with rapier and claws fast switch. Change armor from heavy to medium for fast roll or tank. Move talismans around a lot. Many small hits in a row to damage stack is important. Yeah, Musk added that he includes many different Elden Ring talismans. But I mean, Musk isn't the first celebrity to talk about Elden Ring recently. WWE superstar Randy Orton revealed that he also plays Elden Ring quite a bit. While he didn't reveal the build he's using in game, Orton did claim that he was level 527, which is a ridiculously high level in the game. Orton revealed this a couple of weeks ago, and so it's safe to say that he is likely closer to the Elden Ring max level cap by now. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know if it counts for much, but I figure, it's just something a little extra thrown in there. I mean, let's see, is there anything? Alright, this was released still on Game Rant 11 hours ago. This article came out according to this. Nintendo announces new Indie World Showcase for tomorrow. It's supposed to be about 20 minutes. Nintendo's digital presentations have not been easy to predict since the beginning of the COOF, with the company mainly resorting to Nintendo Direct Minis throughout 2020. Last year, fully featured Nintendo Directs came back and have been releasing consistently since February 2021. This year, however, it feels as though Nintendo has skipped many opportunities to host its usual Indie World events, opting not to hold them alongside GDC or PAX West, as it has in past years. Finally, after a longer wait than usual, Nintendo has announced the next Indie World presentation for tomorrow, May 11th. Nintendo's Indie World presentation to highlight a host of new independent titles coming to Nintendo Switch soon, with particular focus on ones launching in the coming year. Presentations have come with the reveals of major indie games such as Nintendo Switch release of Cuphead, and most recently the reveal of Nintendo Switch version of the beloved RPG Omori, I guess. The presentations have also come alongside major stealth releases like the Switch release of Chicory, I guess, and Necro Barista. How can I pronounce Necro Barista, but I can't pronounce? Sorry, that's my own frustration with myself. One game that immediately comes to mind whenever an Indie World presentation is teased is the long-anticipated sequel to 2017 Souls-inspired Metroidvania Hollow Knight Silksong. The game has grown infamous for developer team Cherry's lack of updates regarding the title since the announcement in 2019. The game, like the original, is expected to be a Nintendo Switch timed exclusive at launch and has appeared at Indie World presentations in the past. So, after 3 years since its announcement, it is possible that Hollow Knight Silksong could show up tomorrow due to the small size of the developer. The game's ambition, however, fans should not hold their breath. One other game fans might expect to see is Cuphead, the delicious last course. The DLC for the World 2017 run and gun platformer, which is still funny watching that one supposed professional critic who couldn't even get past the tutorial. Which is gearing up for release on June 29th, 2022. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, and Bomb Rush Cyberfunk are also highly anticipated 2022 indie games that will be timed Nintendo Switch console exclusives that could make an appearance. I don't know if anybody's interested in that. I'll probably check it out. I have a Switch. Let's see. Is there anything else on this site that may be of interest? Well, maybe this was coming. Means something to some of us. NVIDIA and AMD prices are continuing to fall, especially in parts of Europe. There's this article, Andrew Paul Heaton. Okay. There's a lot going on around the world of graphics cards currently, with Intel possibly delaying its Arc desktop hardware, and the likes of NVIDIA and AMD looking to leap into the next generation in a few months. The final stages of 2022 could be an interesting one for gamers and PC enthusiasts, however, since RDNA 2 and Ampere released in 2020. It's been a difficult time owing to the tech deficit and major increase in prices. Fortunately, costs have been coming down, and it looks as though this trend is continuing. According to the recent analysis from the German website 3D Center, as referenced by Tom's Hardware, prices for AMD and NVIDIA products have dropped, with some now at about 10% above their MSRPs. The original report also shows just how much more expensive graphics cards were just a few months ago, with hardware from this generation from both tech giants being more than 80% higher than their respective retail values last December. There's still a way to go, of course, but with NVIDIA's RTX 3090 being just 6% over MSRP, the continuation of this decline is bound to be good news for those who have been waiting for prices to level out. The report goes on to say that as attractive as this prospect is, some high-end products are still averaging around 22% higher than their recommended selling price. Having said that, it still shows that progress is being made, and while this may refer to retailers in places like Germany, it's only natural to assume that this could be carried forward into other countries. With Intel CEO saying that chip shortages could go until 2024, there may still be misery ahead for anyone wanting a new NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel graphics card over the next year or so. Hopefully the outlook won't be as bleak as is to be expected, but this generation has already been a difficult one. Unless people have been prepared to pay way above the odds for hardware, many have been unable to procure much since the end of 2020. Yeah, scalpers gonna snatch them up too. So, well, I like to see the prices drop on it so that scalpers get shafted by it. They have a whole bunch of these cards. You can't do anything with them. But that's me. You can't stop the scalper, but you sure can bleed them dry of money. Kill their profits by not buying their stuff. Wait for the products to drop in price and then buy. Patience is a virtue. Okay. You know what? Let's see if I can pull it up this way. Maybe somebody else. I'll see it. Let's see. No. Don't want that. Boy. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to do it this way, even though I wanted to do it another. Okay. EA announces new Lord of the Rings game. Unfortunately, it's a mobile game. In collaboration with the Middle-earth Enterprises, but not much is known yet. Let's see many video game adaptations of mobile games like Lord of the Rings, Rise to War being the franchise's most recent foray into the medium. EA has announced it's working on new Lord of the Rings mobile game in collaboration with Middle-earth Enterprises. You know, I understand going for a mobile, but come on. Can you give us something? I mean, outside? I mean, I understand there really isn't that much. This mobile game will be Newest addition to the franchise's extensive foray into the medium. The aspects revealed for this game in the announcement are very ambitious but exciting for the franchise. The partnership between EA and Middle-earth Enterprises sounds very promising and will give EA a chance to give fans more extensive look at the world of Middle-earth. This will add on to what the new Lord of the Rings, the new Rings of Power prequel show could bring to lore on it. Uh, you know, Shadows of Mordor, good. Yes. Fans are well interested in this landmark franchise, even recreating Lord of the Rings locations in Minecraft. Yeah, I've seen some images of that stuff. But I'm gonna give Rings of Power a try, but I don't have a good feeling about it. Yeah, I really don't. Sorry. Just it doesn't look like it. I'm sorry, the trailer just looks like it could be a generic fantasy story that they could put anything in. They just decide to say that they're using Lord of the Rings in it, using the appendices of Lord of the Rings books, and just I was hoping there would be more to that article, but there really wasn't. I mean, let's see. Well, let's go over a few things, a few headlines. That Liam Neeson to headline upcoming crime thriller Thug. Schindler's List and Taken franchise star Liam Neeson. Rolling upcoming Easter thriller Thug from Rush Hour producers. Veteran actor and Taken franchise signed on to play the lead role in upcoming gangster thriller Thug, helming the film. Oh no, let me guess. Somebody is going to kidnap somebody he knows and he's going to go all Taken on it. Please tell me that's not the formula we're going with here. Helming the film is Hans Peter Mullen, who previously directed Neeson in the 2019 revenge story Cold Pursuit. Warren Goes is producing on behalf of Sculptor Media and previously produced the recent Neeson starring action film The Marksman. Tony Gayton is penning the script and is known for writing the Dwayne Johnson led film Faster. Don't know anything about that movie. According to Deadline, filming on Thug is scheduled to begin later this year in October in Los Angeles, California. The film reportedly centers on an aging San Pedro gangster played by Neeson who attempts to reconnect with his children and rectify the mistakes in his past, but is impeded by the criminal underworld that refuses to let him go. Thug is also being produced by Eric Gold of Rush Hour and G.I. Joe franchise producer Roger Birnbaum? I don't know. Michael Besman and James Celia? I guess I'm sorry on both, all of your names. I really am sorry for butchering that. Okay. Getting some. Let's go over. Let's see if there's another thing. if anybody's here, we can have any suggestions to go over, something to look at. Please let me know. Boy. No, don't want to do that. Ooh. I'm not going into anything on the whole Johnny Depp stuff. Unless it's a movie, I don't care. So I want to stay away from court cases as much as possible. All right. Let's see. You know what? This will work just fine. Monsters. I had somebody comment on my video from October, and I want to make sure I enunciate it as best as I can, and I'm sorry if I screwed up. Monsters reboot behind the scenes video shows Rob Zombie walking down Mockingbird Lane. A new set video from Rob Zombie's upcoming Monsters reboot shows the director walking Mockingbird Lane 55 years after the Monsters ended its 2-season run on CBS. Zombie confirmed that he was officially working on one of his longtime passion projects, The Monsters. The film is set to be released later this year, which I'm definitely going to go see. I really hope they release it in black and white. Even if they're not going to release it in black and white, I hope he has whatever Blu-ray it is, you can watch it in black and white. Really fair this year with Jeff Daniel Phillips starring as Herman Munster, Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily, and Daniel Roebuck as Grandpa. The Munsters reboot will also feature several new characters, including Sylvester McCoy's Igor, or Igor, depending on if you're watching Young Frankenstein. Sandra Elvira Peterson as Barbara Carr, and George, I guess he is Floop. The original Munsters series aired in the 60s, starred Fred Gwynne as Herman, Yvonne DiCarlo. Yeah, she was. As Lily, Al Lewis as Grandpa, Butch Patrick as Eddie, Pat Priest, and Beverly Owen as Marilyn. The family lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and a running joke throughout the series was the Munsters always being confused by their neighbors being frightened of them. The Munsters will again live on 1313 Mockingbird Lane for Zombies reboot. And during construction of the set, the director made it clear he was trying to make the exterior look identical to the one in the 60s. Now, the other images he's done is beautiful of it. So, now this is a little clip. Don't screw, I'll take the hit if they want to complain. Wow. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I know it won't mean much to people now, but it actually means something to me because I used to watch the reruns of Monsters on Nick at Night whenever I was little. That and Addams Family. So some of you share more photos from set than videos, but this is the first look fans have gotten the 1313 Mockingbird Lane. The director thrilled fans by sharing continuous updates and photos of the construction crew's work on the Munsters mansion and the surrounding houses. Zombie has been very engaged with fans throughout the development and production. The Munsters sharing dozens of set photos of the inside and outside of 1313 Mockingbird Lane, as well as numerous pictures of the cast in their spooky costumes. There's not much shows or movies I'm looking forward to much this year. I mean, new season Cobra Kai, that'll be fun, stuff like that. But I want this. I want this to be good. I really do. I've liked the way that he's done this. He has taken the care because he knows he cannot perfectly make. I mean, the performances by the original actors and actresses was perfect, and this is definitely he's definitely a. This actually means something to him. Unlike others that claim that a certain project means something to him, no, this really means something to him. And with all the images and everything he's talked about, you can tell he cares about this. He wants this to be as close as he can get to being how it originally was. And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, but let's see if we can find anything else that somebody may be interested in. Let's see. No. Sorry. I know some people are going to go into it. They're going to go into talking about the spoilers for the Kenobi series and stuff like that. I'm not going into that. I haven't even looked at them. I'm not listening to this stuff. I'm trying to hope that it's a decent series. I mean, I was disappointed by Book of Boba Fett. It really was just disappointing. They took a very interesting character and made him boring, which should not have happened. But nothing new about that. I mean, the two best episodes might as well have been season 3 of The Mandalorian. Still not happy about that because of the firing of Gina Carano. But you know what? I'm actually looking forward to the movie she's doing. So, better place to spend your money than watching Disney products is to watch what she's doing. But unless somebody chimes in, any suggestions or anything? Normally this is at the point where I do something with Twitter, but right now it's a mess that gets tangled up in too many things that I don't want to get involved with. Unless somebody has any specific people they want me to look up and their things they're talking about. But anyways, let's see. Well, I guess I better call it. I will try to stream again soon. I thank anybody that even watches this afterwards, and if there is anybody here just lurking, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate anybody that does end up watching this. Any suggestions for improvement, please let me know. I'm still learning how to do this stuff. As a matter of fact, I've ended up doing live streams here lately because I'm terrible at editing, and I've been working forever on a video, and so trying to get it right. So, anyways, thank you to anybody who watched. I hope you have a pleasant evening, day, or whatever it is for you. And I'll talk to you in the next one.